Got favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. Feel like I need to introduce myself. I'm Richard Cross. Brian Haydad is back this week. Chris Lemonis joins us, head baseball coach of the Bulldogs. Coach, I do want you to know that you really hurt my feelings last week, but I don't hold a grudge. I'm not still bitter about it. I mean, Brian Haydad was on vacation. He was on like a Himalayan hiking expedition or something. and thanks, Brian, at the end of like all right, whatever. No.
I am worthy of thanks whether I'm here or not, is how I look at things.
That's it. That's right.
You just keep telling yourself that, buddy. You just keep telling yourself that. All right, so you go to College Station this weekend and get one. Obviously, you would like to win a series. Or best case scenario, you find a way to sweep a series. But what's the importance of that one win and avoiding being swept when you go on the road, especially when you look at the splits of home versus road this year in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get one. I think every team in our league, you're seeing it play out. I think besides the LSU game, like the home team has such an advantage, it feels like right now, no matter who's playing. And if you can go on the road and get one, it's good. If you get two, it's great. And shoot, if you can sweep, that's awesome. But it's, as you're looking at the end of the year trying to get your so many SEC wins, you just have to hold court at home and take care of home and try to get one, and then just try to have a special weekend somewhere. Our road series are, A&M, Florida, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. So that's, 5 pretty good opponents on the road, 5 pretty good environments. So you're trying to go to those places and get some wins and, get enough so that your resume looks good enough at the end of the year.
How'd you feel like your team played this weekend?
Thought we played good on, I keep saying Friday, but it was a Thursday game. We give up that big homer in the 5th, but that game, besides that one swing, that game could go either way. Now, obviously, they got the swing. Played really good on game 2, and, I'm frustrated with us a little bit from a hitting side on game 3, but I don't know if it's that guy, their guy's just that good. I mean, we faced 2 left-handers that got to be 2 of the better left-handers in the country this weekend.
Coach, I'll just come out and I'm sure you may have heard, but I wasn't very high on your team this year. I wasn't very high on Mississippi State baseball. And you've proven me wrong to this point. You're playing a lot better baseball in conference than I thought you were going to play. And it feels like something changed between y'all's trip down to Biloxi and the start of conference play at home against LSU. Is it something you can put your finger on, or do they just finally start playing the way you thought they were capable of playing?
Well, I think you saw a couple of hitters get going. I mean, that first month of the season, we didn't have Hunter Hines. Then you play conference play, and in 6 games he's got 5 homers and one of the better players in the league. So I think that has been a big piece of it, and just getting a couple of our offensive players, the Isaacs, the Downs, Logan Kohler had a great series against LSU. I mean, we just, we went for the first couple weeks. One, we had a couple guys out of the lineup, but we had a couple guys just not hitting. And it's just, it happens in our sport. I don't know why. I wish it didn't, but you go these periods without guys hitting, and I think now that they're all hitting or back to it for the most part, I think that's the biggest difference.
You mentioned Hunter Hines there, and, of course, a little controversy at the end of the game on Saturday. He gets called out on strikes, has some words with the umpire. It looks like the umpire bumps into him. You come out and get him away from that situation. What are you telling him there, as much as you can tell us, about that kind of situation and how to try to diffuse it?
I'm just getting him in the dugout. I just don't want to lose him for a game down the road and have anything escalate. So I'm just purely pulling him into our dugout and just trying to get him away from the umpire. So I don't actually see everything that happens at the beginning either. So, you don't realize everything that's going on until you step back and get on the bus and, that type of stuff. But I'm just trying to purely get my guy out of there because I want him for Sanford and Florida. I don't want him sitting on the bench because of an incident.
Visiting with Chris Lemonis, head baseball coach at Mississippi State. You talked about the first game playing well. Evan Ciari, what you saw out of him, I thought he was really, really good, especially early in that game.
Yeah, he hung the one breaking ball to the leadoff, but besides that, I thought he really commanded. He's still, trying to build up volume, so his pitch count was in that 70, 75 range. So I thought we were able to really get some length out of him. And Nolan Stevens came in right behind him. And besides the inning he came in, I thought he pitched really well. He just had, he just couldn't get a grasp on it in that one inning. And, pitching on the road as a freshman for the first time probably sped him up a little bit. But I thought both of them were pretty good that night.
What about Stephen Call in the middle game, the game that you won? He goes 6 2/3, only gives up the 1 earned run. There were some walks in there, but he was kind of able to work around those. Was this his best outing of the year?
Oh, by far. I think he was able to command his fastball to both sides of the plate, and I think he threw like 82% fastballs that night, just because the wind was blowing in from left, so got a lot of outs to left field, and then. Just kind of they take a lot. So they're going to make you really, really work and try to build up your pitch count. And his plan was just to put the fastball in there and make them hit.
Chris, what is it? I know it's always been hard to win on the road, right? I mean, it's the SEC. It's hard to win on the road. But there have been 14 series played this year, and you've got 11 home teams that have won those series. And I won't point out that Missouri's, in that mix. Is there something different this year that has allowed the splits to be so dramatic?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's always hard. I mean, I think the parity in the league, I think the league's a little bit closer. You got transfer portal and all that in our league, so you don't have as many teams that are down. I think everybody's pretty good. And then, I just think it's being on the road. Baseball is so intense right now. I mean, that crowd at Texas A&M, it was packed and beating bleachers and bubbles, and it's just a little different, and it's not your ballpark. And so I think the same thing goes for when you play at the Dude or all these other places, some of these great places across our league. It just makes it a little tougher. Why this year more than – it'll probably even out as the year goes on. But, right now it seems like it's a huge advantage.
You talked about Evan Sierra and what he's been able to give you in these 2 starts. Obviously, Nate Dome – battling injury. What's a prognosis update on him? Do you expect to have him back anytime soon?
Yeah, I think soon. I just think he's working back through it. It's a day-to-day thing with him as he plays catch and works that way. But I don't have an exact date on it right now.
Coach, last thing for you. You mentioned Samford, then you go to Gainesville this weekend. I think it's fair to say that Florida's got the best Sunday starter in the country if they keep Jack Caglione in that spot. He's been incredible. Florida's struggled in the midweek, and so their overall record is maybe not as sexy as some would expect it to be, but they have been really good on the weekends, coming off the road series win at LSU. What have you seen from Florida as you go toward that this weekend?
Yeah, the Caglione on Sunday is huge. They got probably maybe the best reliever in the league, or one of them, on the back end, and they got a lineup that's, Caglione in the lineup. You're watching game film right now, and it's just the things he does is so special. I mean, you got to think he's the best player in the country. He pitches on Sunday, he hits, like crazy, and then he's an unbelievable defender too. People don't realize how good he is defensively. So his presence on the game is huge, and then they have some other really good hitters around him. They took the Shelton kid, the best player from Alabama last year. They got their little second baseman at the top of the order, and I think he had 16 or 17 homers last year, so they can beat you in a couple ways, and they are very talented. Our stretch of LSU, Florida, and A&M, it's you're getting to see some of the better guys in the country right out the chute.
Coach, always appreciate your time. Good catching up this afternoon, and wish you all the best this week.